Well, howdy there, Internet students. It's Mr. Hermanson again. Today we're going to learn how to use a number line to help us add and subtract positives and negative numbers, which are known as integers. Unless they have decimals and fractions on them, then we consider them to be rational numbers. All right. The operation sign, when you're on the number line, the operation sign will tell you which way to face. So if it's a negative number, or the operation sign, so if it's adding, so if it's plus, then you're going to face a positive direction, which means this way. And if you're subtracting, you're going to face the negative direction, that way. The next number and its sign tells you how to walk and the number of steps to take. So a positive means you're going to walk forward, and a negative means you're going to walk backwards. All right, so let's try that stuff. So we're going to start at 2. Okay, and then it says plus, which means we're going to face this way. Okay, so 2 plus, and then -8. Negative means we're going to walk backwards, and the 8 means we're going to take 8 steps that way. So let me draw that with a red line here so you can see that better. So negative means I'm going to walk backwards. Now I'm facing to the right, so I'm facing like this dude because I'm adding, but I'm going to walk backwards because I'm adding a negative. So I'm going to go this way, 8 units, and that puts me right here at -6. All right, let's do one more together. So we're going to start at -4. We're adding, which means I'm going to be facing this way, like this guy. And I'm adding -1, which means I'm going to walk backwards 1 step, which means I'm going to go right to there, -5. Okay. -7 plus 3. So I'm going to start at -7. We're adding, so that means I'm facing like this guy, this way. And we're adding a positive number 3, which means I'm going to walk forward the way I'm facing, 3 steps. So I end up at -4. All right, I'm going to let you try. Well, actually, no, let's do a couple more and then I'll let you finish. So this one, we're going to start at 3, right there. It's a minus, which means I'm facing this way, like this guy. So, so I'm facing this way. I'll just put an arrow that way I'm facing. Put my nose that way. And then, so I'm facing that way, and then it's a -9, which means I'm going to walk backwards 9 units. Well, if I'm facing this way, then backwards is this way 9 units. So I end up going to 12. All right, let's do one more, and then you can finish them up. So we're going to start at 3, right here. We're subtracting, which means I'm going to be facing this way. So that's my nose going that way. And then I'm going to subtract 8. So it's a +8, which means I'm going to go forward 8 steps from that. Well, I'm going to go forward the way I'm facing 8 steps. So I'm facing this way, so I'm going to go 8 steps, which gets me to right here, -5. All right. Go ahead, you make the arrows and you do the next 4 problems, then you can check back and see if you got them. All right, so I'll do the last one with you again here. So we're going to start at -5. We're adding, which means we're going to face this way. There's my nose. And then I'm adding a -9. A negative means I'm going to go backwards 9 from there. So I got to count 9 from -5, which would get me to -14. All right. Okay, let's try the next page. Looks like more of the same. Go ahead and try and do 11 through 14, see if you got them right. So these can be kind of tricky. I'll do number 16 with you. We start at 7. And my nose, since I'm subtracting, my nose is facing this way. And we're subtracting a negative, which means I need to go backwards 8. So that brings me to this spot at 15. Now I'm subtracting there, which means my nose is facing this way. I'm subtracting 5, which means I'm going to go the way my nose is facing, 5. That brings me to there. And then I add, which means I am facing that way. And then I'm adding 1, which means I go the way I'm facing, and I end up with 11. All right. So we're going to write an addition or subtraction for each picture. We're starting at -2. So let's put -2. And we're facing to the right, which means we're adding. And then, but we're going to go backwards here, which means we're adding -5. That's the length of this line, -5 on there. Okay. So let's do one more together. We're starting at 8. We're facing to the right, which is a plus. But we're going backwards, which means we're adding a negative. This line is 8 units long. All right. Go ahead, you try number 19. See if you get it right. And actually do 19, 21, 22, and 23. And then I'll check back with you. All right, let's go over just a couple of these here. Maybe you're wondering how I counted here. Get this -5.2. We started at 2 and we're adding, so that means my nose is facing this way. And I'm adding a negative, which means I'm going to go backwards. Now I'm just counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and a little more than that to get 7.2. And 0.2 1 minus 0.2 is -5.2. All right, and the other ones you can just check your work, see how you did. All right. So let's do, I think you can do those on your own, but let's try changing these subtraction problems to addition. See what we're doing there. So -4 minus -8. Okay, so here's how I'm going to think about this. When you have a double negative, you're taking away a negative, which makes it a positive. So you get that, and then on a number line, you're going to start at -4. You're adding, which means you're facing the right, and a positive. So you're going to go 8 to the right of 4, which will put you at 4. And you can go back and use a number line if you need to for those. So let's try this number 5. That's number 31 here. 5 minus 9. So we have 5, and if we're subtracting 9, so let's say I'm at 5, and we're subtracting, which means I'm facing this way, and I need to subtract a positive 9, which means I'm going to go in the way I'm pointing, which means really I'm just it'd be the same as adding a -9. If I was adding, I'd be facing this way, but I'd be going backwards. So adding -9, and that ends up to be -4. Okay. Let's do a couple more here, and then I'll let you finish them up. So number 34, we're starting at -7. So let's say -7 is down here somewhere. -7. And we're adding, which means I'm facing this way. And I'm going to add a negative, which means I'm going to go backwards, so I'm going to go this way. Well, that's actually the way of subtraction, which would be the same as subtracting if I was facing this way and just subtracting the way I'm going, which would be a +9. And that's -16. All right, let's do one more here. Let's do number 36. We're starting at 9, and we're adding -11. So we start at 9, and we're adding, which means I'm facing this way. But I'm adding a negative, which means I'm going that way. 11 units. Well, that would be the same as facing backwards to begin with, or being at 9 and facing backwards, and then going the direction I'm going, which means it's the same as subtracting +11. And either way, you end up with -2. All right. Okay, I'm going to let you finish those up, and then you can start on your homework, and we'll talk to you soon.